Okay. I want to check out the order of operations for our top collision. See, this needs to be... We need a top collide after side collision, but that doesn't fix our problem because top collision can still get triggered when we're in the buffer zone. So I want to say that we only do this stuff if our self dy is smaller than 0. Because I'm pretty sure we can only top collide with a platform if we jump, if we have just jumped. But if we have not just jumped, our dy will be greater than 0, at which point we'll be in the buffer zone and top collide won't trigger a y reset. So see how that looked like it should have been the error where it put us beneath the platform. Oh, shoot. It did it there, so I didn't quite fix it. But did it make it better? You guys see that, right? So it is triggering a top collision still. So maybe instead of 0, because right when we jump, it's negative 0.4, I think, right when we jump. Or greater than negative 0.4, or technically less than. If it's a bigger negative number. No, 0.3. So I'm going to say that if it's smaller than negative 0.29, shoot, because it's like we want to make sure that triggers if we're right beneath it, right? Jumping. So that means it's the, okay. So yeah, that's messed up. Because it shouldn't be making this sound on a just top collision like that. That means it's detecting a side collision like that. And it's switching our DX, which makes sense because it's detecting the side collision, so that doesn't work. It's a really tricky problem. I sat there thinking about it, and that was the solution I came up with, and it doesn't work, so if it's less than 0, meaning we just jumped, then yeah, see, that doesn't work because if we spam jump, well, yeah, see, we don't want a side collision there. So at least that makes sense to me why it's messing up like that, but so what do we do? I'm really stumped on this one. I'm really stumped on this one. See, that should not have been a side collision. What is going on? I think that's because it's checking. Shoot, man. Maybe we do need this before. Because yeah, that should be the appropriate. We shouldn't get any bounce sounds once we're beneath the platform like that. But it does our special little. Okay. So are you guys tracking with the problem here? Like, where the problem is when we come in from the side like that, instead of triggering a side collision, it triggers a top collision because, which means it resets its Y position, which is why it kind of teleports to be under the platform upon the collision. So it kind of teleports to be lower, which is incorrect. We need it to bounce. But the reason it teleports lower is because it detects a top collision, and the reason it detects a top collision instead of a side collision is because there's a buffer zone for the side collision that we need to give the ostrich so that it can not bounce until it kind of touches its neck there instead of the joust there. And the other reason we need the buffer zone is because we need to be able to fall off the platform by the time our foot is, by the time our X position is a little smaller than this. On this platform, we need to be falling, because if the foot isn't on the platform, see, like this, like that should probably trigger a fall. But right now, since the rectangle of the ostrich is coming down like this, it's detecting a collision. Well, it's actually detecting check grounded is becoming true because it's sensing that there's a platform right beneath the ostrich here. But the buffer zone, that's why the buffer zone is built out 7 pixels in from here. So it's like 7 pixels in. So once it gets past this line or whatever, it'll no longer be check grounded. So if we go any more to the left, we should fall. Yeah. So that's the problem. See, like that should even probably be falling, which is telling me we need the buffer zone to be that 7 instead of 6. But that makes it hard for our top collision to be working right. So like top collision's getting detected because it's in that buffer zone when we're in the side. When we side collide like this, it's in the buffer zone, so it's not quite triggering the side collision just yet. but as far as the game's concerned, it is top colliding, so it resets the Y position. And the problem is we can't just give our top collides our buffer, our same buffer, because if we do, then we can fly through the bottom of the platform if we're in the buffer zone. So like this is barely acceptable, right? This is because I have a little buffer built in to the top collides function. But if we go any further, we should bounce. So this is accurate, right? Where it's like, yeah, we shouldn't be able to fly through the platform here. But if we give ourselves the same buffer zone as our check grounded function, it's even bigger than this. It's like a pixel bigger than this or something. So we would be able to fly through that if we had the same. So that would fix our resetting our Y position bug, but it wouldn't. It would make a bug right here. Maybe we just check that assumption and make sure. So, because I'm pretty sure we've tried that, but it didn't. See, look, so we have, instead of the divide by 3, it's just the buffer, if that's the case. So now, let's see if that fixes our... Actually, we might need to switch our top collides. Yeah, see, so it looks like it did fix that problem. But look at what happens now when we're right here. See how we fly through? We shouldn't be able to fly through there. Like, that's incorrect. I mean, it just looks wrong that our head is going through the platform there. But it does fix our Y reset. So maybe instead of 3, we put... You know, it's like maybe we just try to find the sweet spot that we can with this. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because unless it's exactly the same as the side collides, yeah, it's going to reset it like that. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do for that. I'm going to see if I can get some weird bugs with the sound. It's almost like, is there a way we can say if our DX, no, I was going to say if our DX is high enough, like we're in speed tier 5 or whatever, then negate that buffer zone and only apply that buffer zone if we're going slow enough. But that means the issue is still there when we go slow. Yeah. What's the answer? I don't like that. I don't like that. I just don't know what to do to fix it. Let me try something here. I'm gonna pull up GIMP here and just import the screenshot I just took so I can kind of talk through my reasoning, I guess. No, zooming. Okay. So, and actually this should be the flapping animation, but I'm just trying to talk through this in my head or to you guys. So if the buffer zone, hold on a sec. See, why do I gotta what do I gotta do here to let me, here. So I'm gonna draw something to indicate our buffer zone. Where, God, I need to learn GIMP. Like, where the, I'm just looking for a freaking paintbrush tool. What the heck? GIMP is freaking weird. Okay, whatever. Give me a red. Give me a hard brush. Why? Give me the freaking hard brush. Where did... Okay, so if this represents our buffer zone, then the problem is, and imagine this is a flappy bird instead of a standy bird. So like, the problem is we're coming in here. It won't detect a side collision until it's past that buffer zone. So until it hits here, that's when it would bounce. But what's happening is as soon as we get in here, the game, and remember our buffer zone for the top collides is buffer divided by 3, so that would be like 2 pixels or whatever, which makes sense because we are able to, if we're down here, we're able to flap and come up like this. But if we're any further in, we'll flap and we'll just bounce off the top because our head's there, which is right. But when we're flying in from the side here, as far as the game's concerned, when we pass that buffer zone of 2 pixels, instead of triggering the side collision, it isn't past that buffer zone yet. So as far as the game's concerned, this is a top collision because it doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know the difference between flying in from the side here or coming up from the top. All it knows is on that frame, it's past the top collides buffer zone, and it's not side colliding just yet. So return a top collides, which resets our Y position. So that's why when we fly in like that, we fly in, it detects the top collision, resets our Y to be down here. And that's why it gives us that weird error. So what recourse do we have? We need, like I said, the if we have the top collides the same buffer as the side collides, then we can fly through the bottom like this, which was incorrect. Because if we're just beneath the platform like this and we're flying upwards, our head is going through the platform at that point, which is incorrect. So that's why the top collides buffer is different than the side collides buffer. And the side collide buffer needs to be that big because when we're up here, you know, if we're right here, but facing the other way, our feet will be off the platform. Or I guess facing this way, actually. Our feet would be, I mean, it's actually, so like the right side of this platform in that buffer zone, since it's a rectangle, see how our feet are clearly off the platform? That's why we need that buffer zone so that we can fall if we're standing off there. But normally when we trigger a fall, that means we had a DX, and that means we'll be going at an angle there so it doesn't just fall straight through the bottom here. This helps me visualize it, but I don't have any solution. It's still the same old problem. Like I'm aware of why the problem's happening. And then we tried saying, don't trigger a top collision unless our dy is negative, which I thought would work. We tried that at the beginning of the episode, but it didn't work. I guess I'm still a little confused why that didn't work, but it was triggering a side collision when we were down here for some reason. What if we kept our top collide implementation ahead of our side collide, but we try that dy is negative. So this means we will never be able to detect a top collision if our dy is greater than or equal to 0, which we only need a top collide if we're moving upwards. So I feel like that should work, but oh, it didn't work at the beginning of the episode. Let me just see, does this work? Okay. And then still does it. Uh-oh. Oh god, I think I just found a bug, but I'm not sure. See that? So it's like, oh, see, look, I'm holding left and we weren't going left. I thought we had fixed that garbage. You know, this seems to be better. I mean, it's still doing it there, but it's not too obnoxious. See, that looks pretty obnoxious. When we're going fast, you can really see it reset that Y. It's not too bad, though. See that? You know, I'm not too concerned about that. Why? I thought we had fixed that problem with the why we weren't going the direction. See, look at that. I'm holding left and we're going right. I'm not okay with that. I can't really get it to, Okay, what did I do just there? How did I do that? You guys saw it, right? I was able to do it there. Look at that. I can't get it to, I can't reliably get it to mess up. But it does mess up. Look, that was it. See, I'm holding left and we're still going right, which should never be possible. Is it only when I'm like a certain speed? I think it has to do with the multiple input handling, which is hard enough to wrap my head around. See? I can't reliably get it. If I could reliably get it to mess up, I would have a better chance at debugging it. It's like if I jump when I'm in a skid, then swap my directions. So skid, jump, swap directions. I can't get it to reliably mess up. I think I'm gonna have to watch the replay. Oh! What did I do there? What did I just do there? Jeez, because see, I'm holding left and we're still moving right, which shouldn't be possible. If only left is down at any time, or if only right is down at any time, we should be moving the appropriate direction. So, I mean, while grounded at least. So look at that. If left is down and not right is down, then, well, actually we don't. We have our last input as left. And then Jesus. This is crazy, man. All the input handling. Damn. It's like a miracle I figured any of this out. Look at this. Right is down and last input is right, and we're not skidding and we're not just turned, then give us the DX. So I think at some point last input is getting populated incorrectly. So I'm curious if we were to print last input and try to recreate that bug, and if we successfully recreate it, I believe our last input would be incorrect. Like what's happening when we're holding it down, when we're holding left down and still moving right incorrectly, I'm willing to bet that our last input is actually right instead of left when it should be left, and that's the bug. So like the bug is last input's getting populated incorrectly upon a certain complex movement. Where is our last input table? Oh, capital I. Is it here though? Is it in main? Where is it? I would think it's here in... Oh, here. Okay. Let me try this again. I was incorrect. It still reads left input. See how weird that is? I kept left held down. I just tapped it, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, no, you're right. We should be going left. See, why does that happen? I can't recreate it, which is really strange. But it's enough to bug the crap out of me. See? So last input is... So at this point, only right is held down, yet our DX is negative and not increasing. So why would that ever be the case? I'm wondering if every time we were in that mistake, if we were going less than. No, hold on. If left is down and last input is left and we're going faster. Oh, Jesus. Okay, it's hard to wrap my head around this shit. I'm just so confused. It's like, why? Okay, so if left was pressed and we're not skidding and we're greater than the skid threshold, I don't think that's the case. If left is down, we're not just stopped. It might be this. No. That's only if our self-dx is 0. It's like, which line of code executes if only one direction is being held, right? So if we just hold left, what happens? Well, left last input would get populated, and then left is down, last input is left, and we're going slower than the skid threshold. So, oh no, I'm looking for left is down. So what happens when left is down and we're smaller than? So this, yeah, this is, okay. I'm curious if skid threshold is 0.7 or not. 0.6. So that might be the problem right there. What if we switch that to skid threshold and an inclusive greater than or equal to skid threshold? Would that fix our problem? Because I'm kind of thinking that when our dx is exactly in between 0.6 and 0.7, nothing was getting executed for that. And that's why it was tricky to reenact, because I had to get that dx in between 0.6 and 0.7. That might be it, but I could be totally wrong on that shit. And now I don't move. So why is it 0.7 is kind of what I'm curious about. Because this is supposed to be skidding upon landing, so if we're going faster than the skid threshold, it should be just skid is smaller than or equal to. God damn. I know this shouldn't change anything. I just want to see. Why does that change anything? Does that mean that this equals was screwing it up? Moving to the right? No? Then why the flip was it messing up? Anyways, let me see. Skid threshold's 0.6. So why was it doing that? Okay, so the question is, can we recreate the problem now? Which, it was hard to create the problem in the first place. I guess, like, I want to watch the replay and take note of our DX every time it was screwed up. And if it's in between 0.6 and 0.7, then I think it's safe to assume that that was the glitch. Oh, see, I thought that might be it. Okay. Okay, I think that might be it. I'm gonna watch the replay and see, and if it is, if every time we were in that bug, we were in between 0.6 and 0.7 DX, I think it's safe to say that that bug was the reason it was messing up. But what's more confusing to me, oh, negative skid, okay. Yeah, I needed negative skid threshold here, which is why it was messing up, I think. So now if we just put in the constant, it should be okay. Yeah, okay. And then if we leave it out, we should not be able to move right like we were, and that would explain the bug when I first tried that. Yeah, okay. So that might be it. I'm gonna check the replay and I'll update next episode if I think that was the case. And then let's see. We did do oh, hold on. See, that's okay. That's okay of a Y reset. And that was a bounce. That one's iffy. But the thing is, every platform in the game is kind of curved like a U. So when we put in the real artwork, instead of the programmer rectangle artwork, it's a curved U. So that shifting of the Y position should look a lot better with U's instead of rectangles like this. I'm blanking on what we did to switch our top collide, side collide stuff. Let's see, our top collide is still buffer divided by 3, but then we have only a top collision if our dy is smaller than 0, which is what we tried initially at the very beginning of this episode, but we tried it after the left and right collides, which I think was the problem. I think I'm okay with that. And then we discovered a bug and fixed a bug also on top of that. So this is, I guess I'm confused why it would have messed up if this was after, because it would detect us. Oh, no, it makes sense. Because if this line of code is after our side collides, then when we collide from the bottom, it would trigger a left collide or right collide first, which is why it was playing the sound incorrectly. But we have to check for top collide first. And we check that by checking our dy first, meaning did we just jump? Because we can only top collide if we are going up. We can only go up if we have just jumped. So I think I'm happy with that. I think I'm happy with that. Let me see how many things we're printing. That's okay. I'm gonna take off the last input now that we maybe solved that problem. But it's super, printing stuff to the screen is super useful for debugging, because like I don't think Lua or Love has a proper debugger, or scripting languages in general don't really have great debuggers, I think, but I could be talking out of my butt on that one. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it, and I'm gonna rewatch the stream and look at every time we were getting that bug, and if we were in between 0.6 and 0.7 dx, then pretty confident that we would have fixed that bug. So I'm gonna git add and commit with a message saying tweaked. No, I'm gonna say modified top collision only upon negative dx, no, negative dy, and potentially fixed walking bug near skid threshold. Cool. Then I'm gonna get pushed to our origin main. Okay. Well, we programmed today, and we might have finally got that stuff figured out. I mean, at least to a sufficient level of my happiness. Yep, and we still collide on the backwards. We don't make any collide sound for top collision, which is good. I haven't heard a multiple sound collision in a good while. But I haven't been trying to land on the diagonal, which is how I was able to trigger it before. See? So yeah, we do maybe need to do that, fix that, but yeah, maybe. I mean, we did already try to fix that. It just didn't work. Our collide timer. Ensure side collision instead of top collision. We did address that. And then, yep, we need to do this. So we'll try that next episode, and then I think at that point, I might want to add in more game accurate platforms. Because in the game, oh, and sorry, I had GIMP there instead of Joust for you guys to see. See how they're like a U? So when we come in at the side like that, it'll actually, that U will make it look like it's even more intentional, that it kind of slides us down. Really. God, it's so tough. For whatever reason, the original's harder than my version. Like, it just feels a little harder to control. Not in a bad way, it's just like, I don't know what they're doing to make it feel a little trickier. And it's like, I can't even recreate that problem on the original. I can't even see it where it resets its Y like that. It's just so smooth. It's like it's almost as if it doesn't have, it's like it doesn't have the AABB collision. It's got its own more accurate collision, but I don't know if that's actually the case. Gosh, yeah, it's harder to control in the original because I feel like the flap amount, or the the jump amount is lesser in this one. So it's harder to control. Yeah, see, like, it really does look like it just collides diagonally instead of resetting its Y position. Okay, so yeah, we'll get the game accurate platforms, which is going to be tricky because the platforms are different lengths. So does that mean we need some sort of adaptive graphic drawing capability, saying the first 2 pixels are yellow, next 2 pixels are... See, I don't know enough about that stuff. Or if they're all hand-drawn. They look kind of hand-drawn, each one of them. But I think it'd be cool to kind of figure out how to do some sort of procedural animation for those platforms. Like if it's small, shoot, I don't know how I would do that. That's super ambitious for my current skill set, but okay. Well, today wasn't a complete bust. Actually, it was pretty successful if we ended up finding that bug and fixing it. I'll update next episode about that 0.6, 0.7 problem. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.